All right, guys. If you have a faucet similar to this, it kind of works for some other styles too. And when you turn it on, water's coming out around here, around the base. I'm gonna show you how to fix that so you don't have to spend the money and all the time to replace the entire faucet and lines and all that stuff. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is cut your water off down here. Now once you've cut the water off, just double check, turn this on both ways, make sure that it is off. And the next thing you're gonna wanna do is pop this little guy out. So let me just take a knife or something, and there you go. And then you're gonna need an Allen key to focus on that guy right there. All right, so this is what you're looking for, just a little Allen wrench that'll fit that. And whenever you get this, just be sure that it fits it perfectly. If it's just a slight bit off, because it could be metric or standard, depending on your faucet. If it doesn't fit perfect, it's really easy to strip out. All right, so now that that's loose, this should just slide right off. I got lucky. Normally these are actually really hard to get on and off. So sometimes you have to kind of put a screwdriver on there and try to pry it up a little bit. The next thing you're gonna do is see this piece right here actually spins off. So you can just take that and put you a wrench, or they have special wrenches for it, but you can just use some channel locks or something to spin it off. Just try to be careful and not mess your chrome up too much. All right, so I broke it loose with channel locks. And then keep an eye on this so you can kind of see how it goes. If you're not really familiar with these, it's easy to put this thing back together wrong. So that screws all the way off. And then this guy right here. And you can see it should have, there it goes on that side. It'll have a little alignment pin, so you know you can at least get that back on there straight. This whole piece just pulls up straight out. Like I said, just trying to be careful. You don't want to, if you can help it from spinning, I mean it's pretty easy to line back up, but if you can help it, make it a little easier on you. And that's what you're looking at. So now at this point, what you're going to do is this whole piece, the whole faucet head, now that that's all off, this whole faucet head, you just want to spin it, pull it up. And then you can see right here and right here, there are some rubber O-rings that need to be replaced. They're both completely flat, especially the one at the bottom, and that's where our leak's coming from. So I'm not gonna be able to do this and video it, but just get you a small little screwdriver or pick or something, and you just go in here and just pick these out and just pull them both up all the way up. All right, so now that they're off, you can see these are the two old ones and our two new ones. It'll be kind of hard to tell on the video, but these are actually a whole lot more round, and they're actually going to hold up a lot better. So basically you do the same thing you just did, and you'll just take them and just slide them down. Be careful not to pinch or nothing. Make sure your little plastic washer stays on the bottom, because that's what helps it swivel. All right, so I got both of those replaced, so now we're just going to reassemble pretty much the same thing we did. Just a little quick note, if your faucet is dripping, just little drops coming out, these two seats right here, you can replace those. There's a spring under each one, your hot and your cold, and that's what'll cause your faucet just to drip even when it's off. So I can make another video on that if y'all want. All right, so just do a quick little inspection on your faucet head here. Make sure there's nothing in the way, nothing too dirty with it, and then you just take it and just slide it back on. You'll notice it's a little bit harder to go on than it was to come off, because now it's got a new seal. There you go, and it's a little bit snug too. It's a little bit tighter. So there's that, and then we'll just put our ball and everything back on there and make sure it gets seated down with the plastic, this guy in the right direction, and then make sure this guy, the flat part, will be facing towards you for your handle. Another thing I wanted to note, that little slot right there goes on that little silver piece sticking out. So if you're having trouble getting this to go back in, it doesn't just sit down in there. You have to line that up perfect, get that in, and then the flat part of the handle, or the little ball valve, will go towards you, and then that little plastic piece right there on the side goes in that slot right there, and you're gonna have to push it down pretty good till it pops all the way in. Just make sure you have that lined up. So there we go. See, that's lined up. It's all facing forwards. You see, if you can see the flat spot on that, you can see it's facing forwards. So now all we're gonna do is take our cap and put this back on. Be sure, sometimes they have a little bit more pressure on them than this one does, and you just gotta be sure that your plastic piece doesn't come up and spin when you're putting this on. It's gotta stay right there where it's at. All right, so now I got this tightened back up. Whenever you tighten it back up, I mean, get it snug, and then just give it just a little bit of a turn. You gotta remember, this stuff really isn't made out of much. So you don't want to over tighten it and mess anything up, strip it out or anything like that. But now you'll just take your handle and set it back on, right back there. It'll line up, it only goes one way, and then you tighten your Allen screw back up. All right, so there you go. Now you can put our little cap back in there, tighten everything up, everything's good and tight. This is definitely a lot tighter. You can feel it just swivel. So now you just cut your water on and be sure there's no leaks anywhere and be sure everything functions properly. All right, we got cold, we got hot. And no leaks back there anymore. We got water from where I should have used paper towels to clean it up a little bit better than I did, but good there. So I have seen this not work. A lot of times you can, the rubber O-rings will look very similar, not be exactly the same. That can make it still leak. Or sometimes the neck is actually just worn out and you have to replace it. But if not, this is actually a pretty quick and easy fix, and it's definitely way cheaper and way easier than replacing the faucet. All right. Good luck.